Hare Krishna, would anybody like to do kirtan over there? Okay, I'll begin. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahams Paripurajacharya Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kundi Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Tham Ki Jai Navadip Tham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamana Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Welcome everybody to Srimad Bhagavatam reading with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami. It is Monday, November 24th, 2025. We're beginning with Srimad Bhagavatam 4.24.2. Is that right from last time?
Sounds about
Yes.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Saraswati Machi, would you be able to take the chat? I need to head out quite early.
Yes.
Thank you. And yeah, Guru Maharaj, would you like to read?
Give me 1 moment. There we go. Ayakshaya Dishat Prachim Tumrakeshai Dakshinam Pratichim Vrikasangaya Turyam Dravanase Vipuhu. Maharaj Vijitashva offered the eastern part of the world to his brother Aryaksha, the southern part to Tumrakesh, the western part to Vrika, and the northern part to Dravina. Antardhana gatim sakral labdvantardhana sangitaha apatya trayamadhatta shikandinyam susammatam. Formerly, Maharaj Vijitashva pleased the king of heaven, Indra, and from him received the title Antardhana. His wife's name was Shikandani, and by her he begot 3 good sons. Purport: Maharaj Vijitashva was known as Antardhana, which means disappearance. He received this title from Indra, and it refers to the time when Indra stole Maharaj Prithu's horse from the sacrificial arena. Indra was not visible to others when he was stealing the horse, but Maharaj Prithu's son Vijitashva could see him. Yet despite his knowing that Indra was taking away his father's horse, Vijitashva did not attack him. This indicates that Maharaj Vijitashva respected the right persons. Although Indra was stealing the horse from his father, Vijitashva knew perfectly well that Indra was not an ordinary thief. Since Indra was a great and powerful demigod and servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vijitashva purposefully excused him due to sentiment only, even though Indra was acting wrongly. Thus Indra became very pleased with Vijitashva at that time. The demigods have the great mystic power of being able to appear and disappear according to their will. And since Indra was very pleased with Vijitashva, he bestowed this mystic power upon him. Thus Vijitashva became known as Antardhana. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Tadhati Shapadantikam Pandehang Shri Guru Shri Jatapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Shagana Raganathan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lulita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hodi Priye Vansha Kolpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindho Bhyevacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Here we find the prudence or good discretion, fine discretion of Maharaj Vijitashva. He didn't punish Indra. Although Indra acted wrongly, Tejiyasam Nadoshaya, there's no fault in the doings of powerful persons under such circumstances, and therefore Vijitashva Maharaj excused him. Our tendency is to think that no one should be above the law, everyone should be treated equally. But here it seems that there are those who are entitled to certain regard. And Indra is one of them. So Indra was grateful for the treatment received from Vijitashva and gave him this mystic power, the power to appear or disappear at will. All right, any questions?
Nothing in the chat box.
Okay. Pavaka pavamanascha shuchir ityagnaya pura vasishta shapad utpanna punar yoga gatim gataha. The three sons of Maharaj Antardhana were named Pavaka, Pavamana, and Shuchi. Formerly, these three personalities were the demigods of fire, but due to the curse of the great sage Vasishta, they became the sons of Maharaj Antardhana. As such, they were as powerful as the fire gods, and they attained the destination of mystic yogic power, being again situated as the demigods of fire. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, 6:41 through 43, it is stated that one who falls down from yoga practice is elevated to the heavenly planets, and after enjoying the material facilities there, he again comes down to the earthly planet and takes birth in a very rich family or a very pious Brahmana family. Thus it is to be understood that when demigods fall down, they come to earth as sons of very rich and pious families. In such families, the living entity gets an opportunity to execute Krishna consciousness and thereby gain promotion to his desired goal. The sons of Maharaj Antardhana had been the demigods in charge of fire, and they regained their former position and by mystic power returned to the heavenly planets. Now, let's just see one thing. Yeah. Okay. Now, I don't have a reference for what this Vishishta Shapat refers to, why it was that Vishishta cursed the demigods of fire. I don't know if anyone else here has that information. I don't recall. Okay, so we'll move forward. Pavaka Pavamana Shuchi Agnayaha Vishishta Utpanna Puna Yoga Gatim Gata. They again were restored to their position. Antardhano Nabashvatyam Havirtanam Avindata Ya Indram Ashvahartaram Vidvanapi Najagnivan. Maharaj Antardhana had another wife named Napasvati, and by her he was happy to beget another son named Havirtan. Since Maharaj Antardhan was very liberal, he did not kill Indra while the demigod was stealing his father's horse, at the sacrifice. Purport. It is understood from various scriptures and Puranas that the king of heaven, Indra, was very expert in stealing and kidnapping. He could steal anything without being visible to the proprietor, and he could kidnap anyone's wife without being detected. Once he raped the wife of Gautam Muni by using his disappearing art, and similarly, by becoming invisible, he stole the horse of Maharaj Prithu. Although in human society such activities are considered abominable, the demigod Indra was not considered degraded by them. Although Antirdhana could understand that King Indra was stealing the horse from his father, he did not kill Indra, for he knew that if one who is very powerful sometimes commits an abominable act, it should be disregarded. In Bhagavad Gita it is clearly stated, Api chet suduracharo bhajatam bhajate mam ananyapak sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hisaha. Thus the Lord says that even if a devotee commits an abominable act, he should be considered a sadhu, or a pious man, because of his unflinching devotion to the Lord. The devotees of the Lord never willingly commit any sinful act, but sometimes they commit something abominable due to their previous habits. Such acts should not be taken very seriously, however, because the devotees of the Lord are very powerful, whether they are on the heavenly planets or on this planet. If by chance they commit something abominable, it should not be taken into account, but should be overlooked. This is, there are those who just don't like this. There are devotees who simply disagree with this, or wish Krishna hadn't said it, or would like to stow it somewhere and overlook it. But here it is, these statements from Krishna, that even if a devotee does something abominable, sadhureva samantavya, he has to be considered saintly. We might like to judge such persons according to our own received conception of justice, or of, justice or fairness. They should get their comeuppance. But Krishna says no. Such a person has to be considered a sadhu, a saintly person. And Krishna even becomes angry if we overlook this statement of his. Again, Tejiya Samna Doshaya, there was no fault in Indra, even though he acted improperly. There was special consideration. After all, he's Indra. All right.
Pranams Parampuja Guru Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. I came across something quite interesting.
You're not being properly heard, Mataji. Something's wrong. I can hear you, but it's a mess.
How about now?
No, not good.
I'm not sure what's going on.
That's better.
Oh, it is better. Oh, all right. Yes, I was just saying that I came across something quite interesting today in regards to how devotees, well, it's in Srimad Bhagavatam, it's quoted 10.2.33. I made a reference. It said, Krishna, if devotees completely in love with you sometimes fall from the path of devotion, they do not fall like non-devotees. So you still protect them. Thus, they can continue to progress in bhakti. And also somewhere, I think Srimad Bhagavatam 8, it said Krishna is known as Bhavgrahi Janardana. He takes only the essence of a devotee's attitude. If a devotee sincerely surrenders, Krishna as Paramatma immediately understands this. Therefore, even if externally a devotee may not render full pure service, if he is internally sincere and serious, the Lord welcomes his service. The Lord takes the essence of one's devotional mentality. So I thought that was very nice. And this curse that Garga Muni cast on Indra, ultimately what happened was there were two curses, because one went to his wife, Ahalya, and she turned into a stone. But she was only to be liberated when Lord Ramchandra would, with his lotus feet, touch the stone. And that was the way that she would actually become liberated. And Indra, ultimately, he ended up getting 1,000 eyes. And in Brihad Bhagavatam, the gopis, after they'd criticized Brahma about how he had created the eye in such a way that it has to blink even for a split second and therefore obstruct their view of Krishna, they also said that fair justice was not administered by Brahma, because how is it that Lord Indra ended up with 1,000 eyes and they only have two?
Yes.
And we have something in the chat box from Praveen Prabhuji. Dharma vyati krama drishta ishvaranam cha sahasam tejasyam na doshya vehenehe sarva bhujo yatha. Sukadev Goswami said, the status of powerful controllers is not harmed by any apparently audacious transgression of morality we may see in them, for they are just like fire which devours everything fed into it and remains unpolluted.
Teji Asam Nadoshai. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ragyam Vrittim Karadana Danda Shulkari Darunam Manyamano Dirga Satra Vyajena Visasarjaha. Whenever Antardhana, the supreme royal power, had to exact taxes, punish his citizens, or fine them severely, he was not willing to do so. Consequently, he retired from the execution of such duties and engaged himself in the performance of different sacrifices. Purport: it is clear herein that the king sometimes has to perform duties which are not very desirable, just because he's the king. Similarly, Arjuna was not at all willing to fight, because fighting or killing one's own kinsmen and family members is not at all desirable. Nonetheless, the Kshatriyas had to perform such undesirable actions as a matter of duty. Maharaj Antardhana was not very happy while exacting taxes or punishing the citizens for their criminal activities. Therefore, on the plea of performing sacrifices, he retired from the royal majestic power at a very early age. We don't know exactly what we'll see in the coming verses how Antardhana makes use of his retirement. Tatrapi hangsam purusham paramatmanamatmadrik yajang stallo katamapa kushalena samadhinam. Although Maharaj Antardhana was engaged in performing sacrifices, Because he was a self-realized soul, he very intelligently rendered devotional service to the Lord, who eradicates all the fears of his devotees. By thus worshipping the Supreme Lord, Maharaj Antartana, wrapped in ecstasy, attained his planet very easily. Purport: since sacrifices are generally performed by fruitive actors, it is especially mentioned here, tatra api, that although Maharaj Antartana was externally engaged in performing sacrifices, his real business was rendering devotional service by hearing and chanting. In other words, he was performing the usual sacrifices by the method of Sankirtan Yajna, as recommended herein: Shravanam Kirtanam Vishno Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Bandhanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam. Devotional service is called Kirtan Yajna, and by practicing the Sankirtan Yajna, one is very easily elevated to the planet where the Supreme Lord resides. Out of the 5 kinds of liberations, achieving the same planet where the Lord resides and living with the Lord there is called Salokya liberation. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur adds the detail that Maharaj Antartana was worshipping Hamsa Avatar, and so attained his planet. So externally, it appeared to be like one of the fruitive activities, performing sacrifices, generally done for getting some material gain. But his real purpose was to glorify the Lord. So it was, therefore, Sankirtan Yajna. Yes. Pure devotional service. Avirdhanad Tavirdhani Vidura Sutashat Sutan Varhishadam Gayam Shuklam Krishnam Satyam Jitavratam. Havirdhan, the son of Maharaj Antarthan, had a wife named Havirdhani, who gave birth to 6 sons named Varhishat, Gaya, Shukla, Krishna, Satya, and Jitavrata. Varhishat Sumahabhago Havirdhani Prajapatihi Kriya Kandeshu Nishnato Yogeshu Cha Gurudvaha. The great sage Maitreya continued, "My dear Vidura, Havirdhana's very powerful son, named Varhishat, was very expert in performing various kinds of fruitive sacrifice, and he was also expert in the practice of mystic yoga. By his great qualifications, he became known as Prajapati." Purport: in the beginning of the creation, there were not many living entities, and consequently the very powerful living entities, or demigods, were appointed as Prajapatis in order to beget children and increase the population. There are many Prajapatis. Brahma, Daksha, and Manu are sometimes known as Prajapatis, and Varhishat, the son of Havirdhana, became one of them.
Praveen Prabhuji said he was later named Brachini Barhisa.
Yes, we'll have a lot to hear about him as the narration continues. Yes, yedam deva yajanam anuyagyam vitanvata prachina gray kushar asid astritam vasudhatalam. Maharaj Barhishat executed many sacrifices all over the world. He scattered kusa grasses and kept the tops of the grasses pointed eastward. Purport, as stated in the previous verse, Kriya Kandeshu Nishnata, Maharaj Barhishat dived very deeply into the fruitive activities of sacrifice. This means that as soon as he finished one yajna in one place, he began performing another yajna in the immediate vicinity. At the present moment, there's a similar need to perform Sankirtan Yajna all over the world. The Krishna consciousness movement has started performing Sankirtan Yajna in different places, and it has been experienced that wherever Sankirtan Yajna is performed, many thousands of people gather and take part in it. Imperceptible auspiciousness achieved in this connection should be continued all over the world. The members of the Krishna consciousness movement should perform Sankirtan Yajnas one after another, so much that all the people of the world will either jokingly or seriously chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And thus they will derive the benefit of cleansing the heart. The holy name of the Lord, Hare Nama, is so powerful that whether chanted jokingly or seriously, the effect of vibrating this transcendental sound will be equally distributed. It is not possible at the present moment to perform repeated yajnas as Maharaj Barhishat performed, but it is within our means to perform Sankirtan Yajna, which does not cost anything. One can sit down anywhere and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If the surface of the globe is overflooded with the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, people of the world will be very, very happy. So Srila Prabhupada takes this opportunity to encourage the members of the Krishna consciousness movement to go on performing Sankirtan. And this will provide, he says, imperceptible benefit. Even if we don't see it, people will be benefiting so much from hearing Hare Krishna or sometimes chanting Hare Krishna. In the section of Bhagavatam concerning a Jamil, the statement is there that whether one chants jokingly or negligently or to indicate something else, one will get the result. And the example is a Jamil himself, who chanted not to glorify Krishna, but just to call his son Narayan. And he was saved from the greatest danger. So we can't estimate how much benefit comes to the people of the world by this transcendental Hare Krishna vibration, by hearing the holy name, by receiving books of Krishna consciousness, reading something about Krishna. Yes. So the world should be flooded with the Hare Krishna mantra, and Prabhupada said that will make people happy. not superficially happy, but there will be a great benefit to all the people of the world.
We have a
Here are the verses given by Praveen. Yes. And it's too small for me to read.
Sanketyam parihashyam va stopam Hedanam eva va vaikunta nama grahanam asheshaga haram vidu. One who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins, even if he chants indirectly to indicate something else, jokingly for musical entertainment, or even neglectfully. This is accepted by all the learned scholars of the scriptures.
Sheshagha haram. Unlimited sins will be washed away through the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Vaikuntha Nama, the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, one shouldn't chant with the idea of performing sinful activities and being relieved of the reactions. But whatever background of sinful life one may have can all be washed away by the chanting of Hare Krishna.
There's a question from Raveen Prabhuji. People ask how chanting Hare Krishna will make me happy.
You try it and see. Those who are chanting are happy. So you also try this and you'll see how you become happy by this chanting of Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna people are chanting, they're dancing, they have a happy life. To be purified means to come to our natural happy position. This chanting Hare Krishna cleanses the dust from the mirror of the mind. When the mind is purified, one becomes more happy. It's not that one becomes happy, the dirtier he is, the happy he becomes. In its pure condition, the living entity is full of happiness. Yes, he's full of happiness. Therefore, as one becomes purified, one's happy, normal condition is revived. Brahmabhuta Prasanatma, one becomes self-realized. He understands his real identity. So he becomes Prasanatma. He becomes joyful. And then Nashochati, Nakangshati. He has nothing to hanker for, nothing to lament. This is just the first installment of chanting Hare Krishna. It's practically seen that devotees of Krishna, or those who are chanting Hare Krishna, easily give up gambling, intoxicants, meat eating, illicit sex. Why are they doing that? It's because param drishtva nivartate. They're experiencing better happiness. They're experiencing better happiness. People are going to the bar to have a few drinks and become happy, but it doesn't make them happy. But they can't stop. But those who are chanting Hare Krishna become happy within themselves. Tatsvayam, what is that? Kale Natmani Vindati. Verse will come, I'm sure. Tatsvayam. Here it's Tatsvayam Yoga Sangsiddham. Kale Natmani Vindati. Yes. Very soon, by chanting Hare Krishna, one becomes mature in yoga and therefore feels transcendental happiness. So try this chanting of Hare Krishna and you'll experience something. That it was found in the biography, there was a biography written of the Ford family, Naturally, they were all the members were very rich, but they were very rich and very unhappy. And the biographer wrote that only Alfie seems to have achieved some happiness in life. Alfie being Alfred Ford, Ambarish Prabhu. So it's practically experienced in real life. But we have that also. We have so many, in India, so many wealthy members. But they look toward Krishna consciousness for getting happiness that they can't achieve by their wealth. So try this chanting. That's our request. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, under him the earth was covered with kusha, barhis. There was no place on earth where sacrifice was not performed by him. Thus he was called Prachina Barhi. He spread sacrifices in which each sacrifice was for all the devatas, anuyagyam, with proficiency. So this is the name. Barhis means kusha, and he was performing so many sacrifices, spreading kusha grass for each of them, and so he became known as Prachina Barhi. And the earth was covered with kusha, so we see, practically speaking, now the earth is being covered with this chanting of Hare Krishna, not with the same saturation that we'd like, but all over the world, in Africa, in Australia, and China, Japan, Russia, all over the world, people are chanting Hare Krishna. Allen Ginsberg recalled an advertisement for Sherwin-Williams paint, which showed the earth being covered with paint, and the motto was "Cover the Earth." Well, it's not very good to cover the earth with gloppy paint, but to cover the earth with this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra will be very purifying. There's something in the chat.
Yes. Murari Prabhuji says, Hare Krishna Maharaj, does sinful activity have to reduce for widespread chanting to be accepted worldwide? Because people have the opportunity now, but it's not accepted by the mainstream yet.
No, it's not a prerequisite to be freed from sinful activity. If they just go on hearing the holy name, they'll become freed. We saw that with Ajamil. He was chanting, becoming freed even though he was not indicating Krishna by chanting. So people may be pious or sinful if they just get the opportunity to be repeatedly exposed to this chanting of Hare Krishna, to Krishna conscious literature, to Krishna Prasadam, if they just give some contribution for the Krishna consciousness movement, then they'll be freed. What is that? We saw the Asheshaghaharam. They'll be freed from unlimited sins. It's not a prerequisite to be engaged in other sacrifices. Of course, one has to be freed from sins, but even sinful persons can chant the holy name of the Lord and be purified. Hare Krishna. And of course, yes, it's not accepted by anyone, by everyone, but if it's vigorously propagated all over the world, then it will be powerfully influential, and even those who don't take to it will be benefited. Okay.
Guru Maharaj. I was reading in the Bhagavatam that when you're chanting or doing the Nauda Bhakti, if there's no prema, then it's like eating vegetables with no salt or trying to eat something when you have no hunger. So, but we still have to continue, even though that that complete deep prema is not there.
Yeah. I'd want to see the context there and see what the discussion was. But we see that even people who may not have Krishna prema, they can get some appreciation just by chanting the holy name. That we see, even even though they may be not chanting with prema, just chanting somehow or other will bring some happiness. Then how much happiness will they get by chanting with prema? That we can hardly imagine. But even just chanting somehow or other, they'll get so much benefit. We'll get so much benefit. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you. My father was once asked about this chanting. He said it's become my greatest need. I don't need to explain anything else. It's just become my greatest need.
Say that again. I didn't.
My father was once explaining about chanting. He said it's become my greatest need. I don't need to delve into why and how. I just have to tell you it's become my greatest need.
That will be the benefit. Prabhupada was asked at one airport by one television journalist, what will be the result of this chanting? And Prabhupada said, chanting. The result of this chanting will be more chanting. Anandam Buddhivardhana. Samudrim Devadevoktam Upayeme Shatadrutim Yam Bhiksha Chalusarvangim Kishorim Shushtvalankritam Parikramantim Udvahe Chakamegni Shukim Iva. Maharaj Varhishat, henceforth known as Prajini Varhi, was ordered by the supreme demigod, Lord Brahma, to marry the daughter of the ocean, named Shatadruti. Her bodily features were completely beautiful, and she was very young. She was decorated with the proper garments, and when she came into the marriage arena and began circumambulating it, the fire god, Agni, became so attracted to her that he desired her company, exactly as he had formerly desired to enjoy Shuki. Purport: in this verse, the word Shushtvalankritam is significant. According to the Vedic system, when a girl is married, she is very profusely and gorgeously decorated with costly saris and jewelry. And during the marriage ceremony, the bride circumambulates the bridegroom 7 times. After this, the bridegroom and bride look at one another and become attracted for life. When the bridegroom finds the bride very beautiful, the attraction between them immediately becomes very strongly fixed. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, men and women are naturally attracted to one another, and when they are united by marriage, that attraction becomes very strong. Being so strongly attracted, the bridegroom attempts to set up a nice homestead and eventually a good field for producing grains. Then children come, then friends, then wealth. In this way, the male becomes more and more entangled in the material conceptions of life, and he begins to think, this is mine, and it is I who am acting. In this way, the illusion of material existence is perpetuated. Atagriya kshetra sutapta vitaya janasya mohoya aham mameti pumsastriya maitini palameta. So, on the one side, it's very good. The husband should be attracted to the wife should be attracted to the husband. Then we can have a very steady married life. But the disadvantage is that the husband becomes too attached and becomes bewildered. The words Shukim Eva are also significant, for the fire god Agni became attracted by the beauty of Shatadruti while she was circumambulating the bridegroom, Prachini Barhi, just as he had previously been attracted to the beauty of Shuki, the wife of Shaptarshi, the seven sages. When the fire god had been present long ago at the assembly of Shaptarshi, he was attracted by the beauty of Shuki when she was circumambulating in the same way. Agni's wife, named Swaha, took the form of Shuki and enjoyed sex life with Agni. Not only the fire god Agni, but the heavenly god Indra and sometimes even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, all very highly situated demigods, are subject to being attracted by sex at any time. The sex drive is so strong in the living entities that the whole material world is running on sex attraction only, and it is due to sex attraction that one remains in the material world and is obliged to accept different types of bodies. The attraction of sex life is more clearly explained in the next verse. I heard from Brahmananda Prabhu that very early, when he was first took to Krishna consciousness, he'd been attending school, and there was some professor who was saying that, because back then, this is like the 1960s, early 1960s, the influence of Sigmund Freud was very powerful. Freud's theories became widely accepted by the intelligentsia, and in literature and science, everywhere, Freud was somehow like at one point Marxism became very prominent. Everything was being explained in terms of class struggle, distribution of wealth, and so on. So at some point, Freud was influential like that. And Brahmananda brought up to Srila Prabhupada that according to his professor, Freud was teaching that essentially the whole, whatever people are doing, it's basically because of the sex drive. And Brahmananda thought that this was a very mundane explanation, a sort of crude explanation of things that didn't take into account the spiritual dimensions of life. So he brought this up to Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada confirmed, yes, your professor is right. The whole world is running on this sex drive. All right.
Guru Maharaj, can I quickly ask, they included Lord Shiva in this name, in this list. And I don't know, because I was in a class where they talked about, you know how people always give the example of how Lord Shiva became attracted by the Mohini avatar, but in a class, I can't remember who gave the class, but they actually clarified that the Mohini avatar that mesmerized everyone else, not Lord Shiva, was the one, was Maya Devi, but the one that Lord Shiva was attracted to, that was the Vishnu Tattva, Krishna expanding into Mohini. Devi. So I'm not sure if Lord Shiva should be included in this list.
No, he's included. He was attracted. The sex drive was there. That was the point. And you want to see my beautiful form, all right, see? And then Lord Shiva became mad with sex desire. That's the history.
So would that be the same as Gupja, being attracted to Krishna?
No, that's something else again.
Thank you very
It was
much.
Krishna, indirectly, yes, he's attracted to Krishna because it's Krishna only who appeared as the Mohini Murti. But Krishna wanted to show that even Lord Shiva can be attracted by this force of sex desire.
Thank you very much. This is the end of our class. Do you have someone there, Guru Maharaj, who could lead the closing kirtan?
I'm alone here.
Venkatesh Prabhuji, would you be available?
Okay.
Thank you.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nititambide Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shuddhavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Devam Vishwakarma Vijayakarvadikacharya Ashtota Shri Shri Varya Sisi Bhakti Swami Prabhupada की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नमः आचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासुदेव गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपिनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय all graces assembled devotees, all graces assembled devotees, all graces assembled devotees, all grace, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Thank you to Maharaj Shri and all the Vaishnavas for joining our class. Thank you for the opening and closing kirtan. Our Srimad Bhagavatam class continues tomorrow. His Holiness Jayādvaita Maharaj Shri ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.